Hi guys, welcome to Miss Harlow's Quarantine Reads, where I talk to you about what I've been reading while we've been on our extended leave. Our first quarantine read is Interference by Sue Burke. This is a science fiction novel. Wait. Hold up. What is science fiction? Well, if we want to get particular about it, and we do, there's all kinds of different types of science fiction. Let's break it down. Science fiction is fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. Whew, that was a lot, right? Basically, anytime you're reading a book, ask yourself a few questions. Does this book take place in the future? Does this book contain technology that's more advanced than what we currently have? Does this book take place in outer space, or does it involve time travel? In this book, do we encounter alien life forms? Does this book contain social or environmental differences from what we've either encountered in the past or in the present? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you're reading science fiction. Let's take a moment to discuss the different types of science fiction. We've got hard science fiction, which means that the science in the story has been super well researched and plays a critical role to the story. Soft science fiction is usually less well researched and more focused on characters than the science. Space opera takes place entirely in space, usually with lots of battleships. Alternative history takes a moment in time and changes it. Military science fiction is futuristic war stories. Dystopia fiction is when the world has come to an end, but we're still here surviving. And then there's the punks. All of your cyberpunk, your steampunk, diesel punk, hope punk, solar punk. There are a lot of different kinds of science fiction, and I like all of them. Some more than others. I don't read a lot of military, but there's some really good ones out there. So ultimately, you just kind of have to read and see what you like. One last note about science fiction. Depending on who you're talking to, you should never, ever call it sci-fi. I don't know, man. Call it what you want. We all get what you mean. But in certain circles, sci-fi is demeaning. Science fiction is acceptable. SF is acceptable. In our library, you'll see them marked SFF, which is science fiction and fantasy. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of different things to call science fiction, just like there's a lot of different kinds of science fiction. But ultimately, it's all fun, and it makes you think about where we came from and where we're going. Alright, enough of all that. Let's get back to the book. This is a science fiction novel. It is a sequel to a book I read last year called Semiosis, where colonists traveled to a new planet called Pax because they basically gave up on Earth and wanted to start a new peaceful community on this planet. After several generations and some shenanigans, they discover that the plants on Pax are actually sentient beings, meaning that they are thinking, self-aware beings unto themselves. And so Interference takes place several hundred years after the end of Semiosis, and it's about the generations of colonists and how they live with the plants and how they interact with new colonists that arrive and bring all kinds of trouble. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was a super fun read. Not as gripping as the first one, but I think that was because the concept was so new to me then that the first book was just really fascinating. A little bit about Sue Burke is she's a totally awesome lady. She is a linguist, meaning that she studies and specializes in languages. So she worked in Spain as a translator for a long time. She's also a freelance journalist and now a totally awesome author. Semiosis was her first book, and it was nominated for and won several awards for being an outstanding debut novel. I highly recommend this series if you're into first contact science fiction, or just really like plants, or like reading in general. It's fun, it's fast, it's not too big. But I would, if our library owned it, would classify this as advanced fiction. There's nothing too sketchy in it. Language is pretty reasonable. There's no graphic sex or violence. So I think it's a pretty good stepping stone for those more advanced readers who are getting a little bored with the YA tropes. You could probably find yourself enjoying a book like this. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I'll be back soon with another quarantine read.